to YouTube. Let's go back to my channel. I don't want to do that. Let's go to YouTube. Okay. My channel. Let's see what this looks like. 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 My channel. Sweet. Let's see what this looks like. My channel. This is interesting. I don't know that it's actually streaming right now. Let's see what this looks like. My channel. So I am apparently broadcasting. I don't know that it's actually streaming right now. Let's see what this looks like. My channel. So I am apparently broadcasting. I don't know that it's actually streaming right now. Let's see what it might be just looping audio, because it might be broadcasting the audio that I just played. So I'm just gonna wait for it to loop through that. Okay, let's see. So I'm just gonna wait for it to loop through that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna, that was the problem. Wait for it to, okay. We're gonna grab this link, make sure that it works for everybody. We're gonna grab this link. Yep, so that worked. Let's post on Twitter. Okay, tweet. Let's actually have this first. Okay. I actually have the link this time. Okay. Is there anything that we have to do when we... Me. Okay. Have I logged in? Do I have a user? My profile. Jose Java Games. Feed. Stats. Following user. Cool. So we have 1 day, 22 hours, and 37 minutes for, I don't know what this is. The whole jam ends on. Yeah, so we got some time. Plenty of time. Okay. We're gonna go to the home. The theme is running out of space. I think that we need to post about our theme. My game does not have a title yet. It's not published yet. Let's say something. Say something. Blue, blue, blue. Okay, so if we come over here, go G again. Everything should be recording. Got chat up over there. Got our notepad. So the theme's running out of space, and I was thinking there are a couple options we could take. There's, physical space. There's outer space. I thought disk space would be kind of funny. I was thinking about doing some sort of puzzle game where you actually run out of disk space. You get a limited number of actions, and you need to make everything work with those limited actions. Which sounds cool. So I was thinking maybe like a grid-like puzzle game where you're limited to you have a limited number of actions, kind of like TS100 or like Space Camo. I was thinking, because programming's fun. You maybe have to implement compression algorithms to save space. And you're limited because constraints make it more fun. And I have decided to use my game engine, which I've been developing for a long time now, and it's still kind of garbage, but we're getting better slowly, to make a game. This is what I have to start out with. This is just like starter code. It sets up a camera, sets up a shader, sets up a batch of entities, adds a light to the world, puts the Stanford dragon in the color white in the world at 000 with no rotation, not one scale. Then it actually just renders it like in the world. This is very basic code. I'm just going to run it. And we can see that we have a first-person camera and a light attached, which we can, navigate around and with fun times light this model. Sweet. I think we just need to, just need to figure out what exactly we're going to do. Maybe we'll hop on Trello, see if we can do some brainstorming. I don't know how multiple displays work, if I can actually have multiple displays. It looks like everything on my second display cannot be seen by anyone here, which is interesting. It's probably good. I can keep the stream up and monitor it without it being broadcast. Don't want to have any loops. Okay, Trello. Let's open Photoshop up as well. Photoshop. Do some visual brainstorming too. And let's make a new board. Have it be purple, because purple's a good color. Ludum .ra 42. Board, sweet. Okay, so we're gonna have a few things. We're gonna have backlog, in progress, top, in progress. Yeah, whatever. We'll have different priorities. So this is low priority. We're gonna have mid priority and high priority. There we go. Backlog, and this can actually be brainstorming. Coming from an agile workday, got agile terms stuck in my head. Okay, so I think it would be cool to have a game where running out of space is actually running out of disk space. We could actually, or maybe like a limited number of moves somehow. You could present the same puzzle to the user multiple times, and they'd actually have to think about solving it in a different way based on how many moves they got. Yeah, maybe they could be like a little robot guy or something. I don't know. Limited number of moves. I like that. So, that's the first idea that came into my head. I don't know that it's necessarily the best. Running out of space. Yeah. And we could present the user with, or I guess the player, we could present the player with new stuff all the time. And that might be fun. Yeah, I think that might be fun. I've never streamed before. It's very hard to keep an audience and keep talking. Okay, so let's go over to our notepad and we'll go over to our Photoshop too. Welcome to Photoshop. Create new. We got pixels. Yeah. 32 by 32 is way too small. Sweet. Let's fill it with... I hate that it doesn't just default to transparent. Great. I can do it like this. Okay. So what I'm envisioning, this is way too small. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So yeah, what I'm envisioning is, you know, you got squares in a grid. This is a terrible grid. And you got a goal. Say the goal is like here. And we're gonna get a wall color, something like that. Okay, so your player starts here. Different colors for walls. You got walls like here. So every move will be an action. So like if the player was to go to the goal, they'd have to go down and around. And that would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actions. But we could have like this be a door or something like that instead. And there could be like a key or a button over here. So instead of 5 actions, they could also solve it in going down here, getting the key, and then moving through the door, 2 actions. And then you could, you know, say you have a certain amount of space. Running out of space. So, you know, initially we present this level and we say you have 5 space. And then we could give them the same level again and this time say, oh, this time you got 2 space. Oh, we could call the game running out of spaces. And we could have it on the end like that. Oh, that would be so funny. I think that's what we're gonna do. That's a fun idea. Okay, so now that we've kind of figured out our idea a little bit, we are going to start doing the brainstorming. So I was thinking grid system with text at top of screen showing how many spaces there are left. This is a very simple puzzle game. This is both my first time streaming and my first time doing Ludum Dare. And I know you're supposed to, you know, scope yourself accordingly. But I feel like this game's been done a lot. So maybe we could do something different and cooler. I did just brainstorm this out, and this was beautiful. I have another idea where your like player could maybe be emitting light. You kind of have influence over the world. And oh wait, that might be cool. We can combine it. Every time you move, your light decreases or something like that, and then you have to that's something you have to manage. I like that idea. So yeah, maybe instead of like a key being here, it's like a lantern or something. And if you pick up the lantern, you can then like see through new paths or something like that. Like walls become impermeable if you have the light on them or something like that. That might be really cool. Okay, I'm gonna write all this down. Permeable walls with lantern. That's not how you spell with or permeable. You can choose to pick up lantern. You can also Every time you move, the wall, the light will decrease. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is rough. Let's see if we can work an experience goal into this as well. Experience goal is the experience you want the player to have when they are playing the game. And I think that a fun experience goal to have, well, I mean, it can't just come as naturally as that. I think I want the experience to be the discovery of the new optimal way to go. You're running out of space. You're running out of moves you can make, and I think that the discovery of, oh, I can solve the puzzle this way would be a good experience goal, because that would be like a grand revelation. And I think that through the revealing of, you know, different game mechanics, you could actually do stuff with that. That might be cool. Let's try that. Okay, so our experience goal is finding the best way problem through game mechanics. I think that's cool. Cool. So low priority, mid priority, high priority. So high priority is we need to get a grid going. We need to add a player. And we need to have a light source on the player. And we also need some sort of move tracking system. Yeah. Okay. That might be fun. Let's do this. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into my scripting folder, make a new JavaScript file, and this is going to be called level controller. Okay. Public void init. It's not Java. Function init. We have a function tick, and we're gonna have another function render, just because these are the base functions that I assert that every single class will have. Or I guess it's not a class. Every single script will have. So if it doesn't have this, it'll just complain. And we're gonna just log dot print line. Hey, we're loading a level, and it's gonna pass in a string. So we're gonna have var level name. Oh, we should also have var level set maybe. And this can be like a set of levels that the player will go through. Level name, and level name will be an input parameter. So we're going to say this dot level name equals level name, and then we are going to console log the level name. Okay, and then we're actually gonna load the level. I'm gonna have to write some sort of like JSON file loader. We can do that. In the meantime, we'll just have we'll just have the level set be a set of JSON objects. These will be loaded eventually. Okay, so we're gonna have name is gonna be equal to, this will be hello world. It's gonna have a width, width of 16 units. It's going to have a height of 12 units. And there's no semicolon there, so this is not ES6 by the way, so I can't use let, which is a little sad. I is less than level set dot length semicolon I plus plus. I don't remember if I do that or not. Let's Google it. JavaScript length of array. It's not a function. It's a property. So that's correct. Okay, so now we are going to say if level set at I dot name triple equals level name. We can put this in a new function. This is going to take full name. And then we're going to call it load level name. Okay, so what load level will do is it'll loop through all of our levels here, and we'll also have like another array in here. Actually, we can add it now of objects, which would be just an array of maybe yeah, an array of entities probably that will be placed in the world. We'll add some new entities. So yeah, if this, we're gonna log dot print line that we found it. Should actually just say loading level and then level found. We can break the loop. We are going to want a collection of entities here, and this will be the entities in the current level, and we can then create and destroy them over time. Yeah, that will be cool. Yeah, that will be pretty cool, and we can map that to like a key. Oh, and we can loop through. Oh, I got an idea. Okay, so var level entities, and then we need to instantiate this. Level entities equals new entity collection. Let's just copy what we have here, like so. And yeah, that should be pretty good. On tick, we're going to say this dot sort, like so. Oh, and I never actually tweeted this. Oh, now I can tweet it out. Tweet. Okay. Let's refresh the page. I don't like that it just spits out all this garbage down here about my system. That's fine. Okay. Well, we'll do some interesting stuff now. So yeah, we have this level entities thing here, and this is just a container of entities, which we are sorting, and I think we should render it from the main. Well, we can, yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, okay. So we don't have any objects in the world yet, so what we're just going to do is we're going to just add them to the level entities once we find the level. So once we found the level, we're going to I can't use let, I keep forgetting. Okay, yeah, this is ES5 instead of ES6, and if there's anyone here that doesn't really know what's going on yet, I'm creating a game for, yeah, Ludum 42, and I've decided to use my own game engine, which is a game engine I created with LWJGL, and yeah, I'm using LWJGL, and I'm using the Nashorn scripting library for scripting, because that's cool, and it lets me do JavaScript stuff. So for var width equals the current object, so level set at I dot width, and we're going to do height as well. Our height equals level set at I dot height. We're going to say 4 var j equals 0, j is less than width, semicolon, j plus 4. Var k equals 0, semicolon, k is less than height, semicolon, k plus plus. This is going to add our cubes in a grid to the world. So level entities dot push new entity model. We're going to use the cube model, so model loader dot load model. I'll load the cube with the white texture at vector 3f. So let's center this around 0, 0. So we want I plus, I guess I minus width divided by 2, comma, j minus the same thing but for the height, j minus height divided by 2. Okay, and then we're just going to place it at 0 on the z index. Do we want to do that? No. Z is forwards and backwards, so we're actually going to have y be z. It'll make sense, I hope. Okay, so now we should be able to test this. Yeah, let's put this in here too, just for now, because it will be easier. And then we're just gonna have to define the shader. So let's put our shader up here, and then we'll define our shader, and then we'll be able to test this, and it should be pretty cool looking. Okay, yeah, I think that should be pretty much everything we need to do. Yep, now I'll just add it to the world. So we'll say scripting engine.add script. We're going to give it the name. So that new file is called level controller. Save this and run it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so it loaded the dragon, and it loaded the light, and it's throwing a bunch of errors. Entities is not defined in index line 56. Let's see, what's at 56? Entities, it's probably a scoping thing. Yeah, because it's called level entities. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. This should be all level entities. Just had the wrong name there. Okay. So it wasn't scoping. Where's the cubes? Did it print? Tile.json. The system cannot, oh, that's fine. Source sphere. It loaded sphere. Huh. It loaded the dragon. And it didn't load anything else. So it looks like this was never called. Interesting. Let's see if this fixes anything. That fixed nothing. Okay. Does it ever print loading a level? Let's see if we can search this for that. Okay, so it's loading a level undefined. Oh, that's the whole problem. We're adding the script level controller and we're not passing anything to, yeah, okay. So we're gonna pass it hello world, so it actually knows what level to load now. And let's see it load that world. Okay, too many arguments. ND model was passed too many arguments. So that's a problem here. And the problem is not that it was passed too many arguments. It was actually passed too few. So, okay, this is our scale. Hopefully. It's really hard to code on stream and have it work. That is not a good sign. Okay, it just totally crashed. New entity model loaded out load cube. Let's just see. I loaded the dragon successfully. Let's see what I did here. Let's just push this instead. Entities.push new. So this will be cube white. This is gonna be no, not I. That was the problem, I believe. J, and then K. Let's see. Don't break, don't break, don't break. It's crashing like crazy. What is going on? This is crazy. Does it print level found ever? Am I just sending it garbage data? Okay, levels found. What level does it think that it's loading? Okay, it's loading hello world, and hello world is here. And it found hello world. I hope. Let's have it actually print what level it thinks that it found, just to make sure that that's the same. Plus this dot name. Okay, for anyone watching right now, I don't know if you know what's exactly going on. I'm using my own engine that I've been developing for a little over a year now, and it's using LWJGL and a bunch of other libraries like JLML and the Nashorn scripting library to allow me to script with JavaScript, and I can actually map all of my little like words here to actual Java classes. So like entity model here is actually, there's a class for that in Java. So it's actually mapping things one-to-one, which is pretty cool. We got level controller, new entity model, cube, vector 3f, jk. I just think that this is kind of crazy. I have no idea why this will not work. It might be because I'm trying to. It might be a scoping problem. Let's delete entities and shader from this. So we have this. We're not going to do entities.sort, and we're not going to render anything from our main class. This is just going to invoke other classes. And if anyone has questions, feel free to ask anything. This is bizarre. It's totally just trying to access some crazy part of memory. So let's see. Level found. So it did actually find hello world just fine. Okay, so that's a good sign at least. it did find the level that I am hoping that it finds. Maybe this isn't like resolving or something in time. We can always log.print. Print line. I can also print objects. That's a new function that I wrote recently. So we're gonna print the level entities just to make sure that it's a valid object. So let's search for this. And it is an entity container. See, so this is the memory address of it, and this is the class type. So this is not invalid. If I comment this line out, though, will it work? Yeah, okay, so it works fine in that case. Let's see if it works fine if I have all this back in too. Because I like having my multiple entities. Let's see if this still works. Okay. Yep, so I got my dragon. It's red dragon. And yeah, so something about this call here, it really doesn't like. This is instantiated. This it should know about. Model loader.load model cube new vector 3. This is kind of crazy. It might be the break call. Let's see if it doesn't know what break is. I've had weird issues with break before. It's just gonna crash. Okay. Maybe it's the model. Let's use dragon again. This might lag a little bit because I'm not batch rendering yet, and this will be a lot of... Yeah, okay, so that was the problem. Okay, so that was the problem. It's just that I don't have that model, which is stupid. I should have checked that. But yeah, you can see that I have like a lot of the Stanford Dragon instanced in the world. And hey, I'm actually still getting 60 FPS, which is awesome. But definitely not what I want. So let's search for models. Not that models, there's this models. And what did I call it? I think it's probably like cube 2 or something like that. Yeah, it's cube 2. That's the object one. Cube 2 rendered at this position, and we are actually going to subtract width divided by 2. And then this one here is minus height divided by 2. Sweet. So now you can see that we have this grid of cubes on the ground, and we have a nice Stanford Dragon in the middle of it. And that dragon is crazy. Crazy high poly count. Okay, let's do some fun stuff now. Let's add a light source to the world that we can just like see and watch. And also I'm gonna go into the actual fragment shader because yeah, the ambient is like way too high right now. Okay. Ambient is 0.3 everywhere. What am I doing to the ambient? Light color ionization. Let's just multiply the attenuation factor by like 4 or 5. Yeah. This should make it a lot darker. More dynamic. Hey, it didn't work. That's always fun. Let's change this to 0.1. That really didn't seem to do much either. Let's make sure the shader is working. So let's change the output color to be the normals. This will look really cool if it does work. Yeah, okay, so that that works. Okay, so I don't know why the shader wasn't updating there before, but you can see that my normals are actually calculated correctly. So we got red on this face, blue on this face, negative, negative blue, negative red, and negative green on this side, which is really cool. Okay. So this works. Why doesn't this work? We're clamping the emissive color plus the ambient plus... Oh, I have this... What is this? I'm just adding a constant to the ambient. If anything, it should be the ambient times a constant. I'll remember that in the future. Okay, so this should look a lot more dark now because it's attenuating much faster. Yeah, so there we go. We got a light source here. It's shiny and red. I'm gonna add some code that lets the dragon rotate, and I'm also gonna demonstrate that I can actually hot swap. Oh, that everything's terrible. I'm not clamping the camera yet, but I'm gonna demonstrate that I can actually hot swap code in. So I'm going to quickly navigate to this. I'm gonna go to the level controller, the actual this. So we have our dragon here, and we're just gonna store that in a variable temporarily. So we're gonna say dragon equals this, which is cool. And now we can mess with it. So dragon dot rotate x 0 y 0.1, and this is going to be 0. So now I just save that and navigate back to this, and you can see that without reopening this, our without redoing anything, it's just rotating now. So like I didn't have to recompile anything. It just detected that there was a change and in real time updated. One thing that you'll notice that's a little bit interesting is that since I was setting the light's position to the memory address of the vector representing the current camera, when the current camera got reset, it picked a new memory address, so like the light's still pointing to the old memory address, which is why it's not tracking with the camera anymore. But yeah, you can see specular lighting happening on this. Let's make it a little bit faster because this is very slow. Let's make it 0.5 and see what happens. There we go. That's a bit faster and a bit cooler. I like that. That's fun. Okay, so let's go back to Trello real quick. Let's make it done. So get grid working. Done. We're gonna now put a player on the grid. And the player is gonna be in the player class. So we're gonna come back to the scripting folder. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Scripting folder here. Scripting, new JavaScript file, and this is going to be player JavaScript. Public void tick. I did it again. Function tick. Function render, and we're going to have function. What should this function be? We're going to have a function init. And I just thought of something else. We currently have 2 entity containers. We should, before this gets out of hand, just condense that. So we're going to make a new JavaScript file called entity manager JavaScript. Okay, we're going to just copy this player garbage into there. And yeah, we're gonna go level entities. Oh, there's a knock at my door. One sec. That was peculiar. There's no one there. Should order food from a food guy soon. Food from a food guy. Okay. So we got this. We were doing entity managers. Yeah, so you see how we have two separate containers right now, like to hold all of our entities, and we're just going to condense that into one. So we're going to say like exactly this is going to happen again. Except instead of instantiating the level controller, we're going to instantiate the entity manager. And then we're going to instantiate a new player. And then we're going to instantiate the level controller. And the level controller has some attributes and some other stuff. I think today what I want by the end of the stream is to have like a little player that you can move from square to square with the arrow keys or WASD, and a camera tracking them. Okay, so entity manager. We are going to have a var entities, and this is like going to be very similar to all the other code that we've written before. So we're going to have the render code be over here in this. We're going to have the actual entity collection be initialized, and we are going to sort the entities on tick, just like everything else. But rather than, oh, I did not want to close that. That was the player that I closed. Yeah. But instead of every single class having their own collection and reference, we're just gonna use the one from entity manager. So level controller. We don't need to render anything. We don't need to sort anything. And this is going to be stored in a local variable. So we are going to say var entities equals scripting engine dot get script, and then I can pass it a script name. So like we instantiated this one as level controller. This one was instantiated as entity manager. So we can get the current entity manager stored in memory. So let's go to the actual like Java code for this. This is the big guy. So I'm actually like all these calls down here, like add class and whatnot. This is putting the word, whatever comes before class, equal to like the class name in JavaScript. So in JavaScript now we can like call entity, and then we'll have access to any functions on the actual entity itself, which is sweet. So what we are using currently is this base class itself, scripting engine. It actually adds itself to itself, which is weird, but it just works. So we have access to all of the functions in this class that are public, like all these. Find all scripts of type, add script, add reference, add class, run function, get references, get scripts. So I think what we want to do is add a new function here. Get all scripts of name. And this will, I don't even know what it would return. We'll figure it out. It's not going to be a void. It's going to be an object. There's like a special object type for these like JavaScript Java objects, and we'll find it. It's going to take a string name in. So we are going to, yes. We're going to basically copy this, except we're going to return an object array. No. This is just going to be get script for now. And it's going to be a script object, I believe. Yeah, and then we're just gonna return script, this lowercase script, and this is gonna be name. Okay, so now we have this function that we can call from the level controller. So we're gonna say this, get script, and then if we go to a script, the actual script object, which is different from the scripting engine, we have some functions on here that we can run, like var, which is one of my favorite functions to run. So this will let me get a specific variable from the other class into this class. So we're going to actually get the entity collection variable, set it equal to entities. We're going to print entities still to make sure that it's not null. And we're going to push them like that. Okay, then if we come back to this class, so we have entity manager, which is instantiated first, then player, then level controller, and we're going to run this and see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen. Oh, otherwise return null. Okay, I really don't know what's going to happen here. I haven't really done the from JavaScript class to JavaScript class stuff before. So you can see that there are like no cubes there, so that means it didn't work, and we're going to figure out why. Shader's not defined in Entity Manager at line 17. So we go to Entity Manager, line 17. Oh yeah, we don't have a shader. Yeah, we'll just copy it from here too. Yeah, we'll copy it from there. Shader. Oh, you can also totally have multiple shaders loaded at once. So you'll notice how like in that previous test that was just run, like the dragon appeared and was lit, and the cubes weren't there, and they were actually using separate shaders because they were rendered in different batches with different shaders like started and stopped. So I mean, you can totally have different shaders for anything. So if you want like a UI shader, you can have that be different than your everything else shader, which is cool. So yeah, let's actually get those cubes to show up again. And this is where the shader was instantiated, and I think that we just need to actually instantiate the shader again, and now it should know what the shader is, and there really shouldn't be a problem anymore. We'll see. Oh hey, look at that. So now it knows what the shader is, and it has access to that. This is crazy. So the cubes are showing up now, and what that means is that through crazy JavaScript reflection, we're actually able to buffer the entity object from this class by like going from Java to JavaScript here, back to Java to JavaScript. It's probably really inefficient and slow, but it's cool, so we're gonna keep doing it. Yeah, so now we have one collection of entities that we can just reference all the time now, and we're gonna do the same thing here. So we're gonna delete all this shader code, and we're gonna delete this entity code. We're gonna delete shader and entities from here, so we just have dragon, which is an entity, which would work fine still. Lighting engine, we still want that. We don't care about the shader. And this now needs to happen after the entity manager has been created, because we are going to not push it to this local entities. We're going to push it to the entity manager's entities, much like we did here. So we're going to do that. We're going to do, oh, I don't know why it didn't copy there. Oh, it's because I pasted instead of copied. There you go. Entities, all this. So now everything should look exactly the same, but it'll be using one entity collection. Sweet. Okay, so that's working. We have our Stanford Dragon model, we have our cubes in the world, and now we can actually start getting this player into the world. And I'm just going to make the dragon model a lot smaller so it's obstructing less of the screen. 0.15. Okay. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Let's actually get the player into the world. I don't have a model for the player yet. I'll probably find one on like Google Poly or maybe Itch. We'll see. Okay, so initialization. what do we need to do? We're just going to make a simple cube for now. And we're going to, I mean, I have components that I can put on entities and stuff. So I'm going to put a component on the entity that like makes it fall to the ground and have like gravity and physics applied to it. Like I've done a lot of engine back work. Like this is supposed to just be the fun part, and it should just work. It is working pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, let's get a reference to the entities that are buffered in the entity manager. And we're going to actually just use a cube. So our cube is going to be yeah, we're just going to use a cube model for now until we find a better one. And even when we have a better one, we're probably still going to use a cube collider just because it's cheap. Very cheap. So we'll do the same thing that we did before. We're going to go into the level controller, and we can literally copy this call and then like change two of the variables. So init here is going to take a starting position. So we're going to have like var x, var y, even though it's technically z. And this isn't Java, so I just say x, y instead of defining them. Okay, so instead of this, we are going to do x, 0, y, and actually I don't even know that I'm going to need physics. We'll see if we decide to do jumping later. For now we can just actually put it at this position of 1, and let's have it use the lava texture, which is a little bit different. So if I just go here real quick, we're going to go into the resources, res, and we're going to go into images and then materials, and then these are all like different materials. So we've been using white this whole time, but we have a whole bunch of other ones that we can use. So like it's just a bunch of maps in a folder, and we can just load them by calling the name. So I'm going to use lava for the player for now, just because it looks different and pretty cool. So yeah, we're pushing entity tick. Okay, so let's do a couple other things first. If we run this now, we should see a lava cube, I think in the center. It might be obstructed by the dragon, just because the dragon's huge, and also in the center. No? Okay. Where is our lava cube? Where's our lava cube? That's weird. 2. Let's see. Am I still creating the player? Yeah, okay, I'm still creating the player. I'm still creating the level controller. Let's, oh, right, I'm not passing a position to it. Yeah, this is the starting position of the player. So we're going to start them at, let's just do negative 2, negative 2. I need to add a print function that says, hey, you're not passing in starting parameters, because that happens a lot actually. Okay, so we got this cube here. It's a lot bigger than the other cubes, which is a little peculiar. It also doesn't have some properties on it that I thought it would have, like a texture. We'll make sure that we're setting the texture. That might be the whole problem. The whole problem might just be that, yeah, like we're not actually telling the shader to render a texture. Okay, so these guys here are trying to render a texture. This guy here is not trying to render a texture. He's white. These have colors that are supposed to be applied to them. Let's go to the entity manager, shader.run, load material. Okay, so that's, no, that there is part of the problem. Or maybe it was the whole problem. The other problem was that like there's no texture mapping on the actual cube. Doesn't explain why it's huge though. It's like double the size of the other cubes. Unless the other cubes are much bigger than I anticipated. That could be the case. So let's go to the level controller and we can just verify that like in two easy ways. We can either change this to 0.5 or just multiply this by 2. But multiplying by 2 is much more fun. Make it bigger. 2, 1, 2. Because we don't want to scale the height at all for now. Maybe we will later if we have like multiple height levels. Okay, yeah, so that was a problem I didn't even know about. Our cubes were twice as big as I was anticipating. But you can still see that they actually line up perfectly at the vertices. Yeah, sweet. So we have our player cube, we have our world cube, we have a light source, and we have a dragon. The dragon's a little sad. He's stuck in the floor. We don't really need him anymore though, so I'm just gonna delete him. Because now we have a fun we have a fun cube. We have a fun player cube. What do we need a dragon for? Okay. We're going to go into the player's tick function and we're going to do some cool stuff. We're going to have some debouncers, which are basically just like a boolean that you pass constantly, and when it changes states, it notifies. So if it's been false and it goes from false to true, that is a rising action. And if it has been true and it is going false, that is a falling action. Rising and falling action. So it's just what is that, like an edge detector? Rising edge, falling edge? I don't know. But I coded them, so we're going to use them. So we're going to have var left, var right, var up, and var down. And they're all going to be equal to new debouncers that we are then going to assign to key values. So we're going to say var, I don't have to say var, left equals new debouncer, and all of their states are going to be false to start. So we can do left, right, up, and down. Okay, the tick, we're going to say if left dot rising action, and we need to pass it an action, and my action is going to be a keyboard action. So if I go into keyboard here, you can see that I have, oh god, a couple of stuff. I have a couple stuff. I have a function here, is key down, and that takes a key code, which we can get off of like vk underscore whatever from Java. So we're going to say keyboard dot is key down, and we're going to pass it key event dot vk underscore w. Let's actually use the arrow keys. I don't know what is correct. Let's just test here. .vk underscore. So these are all the names. We want left. So it's all caps like that. Okay, that's easy to remember. So we're gonna come back into our player, and we got vk underscore left. So if that's the case, we are going to want to have a reference to the player. So this is the player entity. So we're going to say player dot get position, which is a default property of all entities, dot add new vector 3f, and left is going to move it left, which is negative x. So we are going to say negative 1, which will only be half because these are scaled. Negative 2, 0, 0. So that's what happens when you move left, right, up, down. VK underscore right is going to be +2. Up and down. This is going to be down. This is going to be up. Right. And then we just have to change these to be correct. So y to the sky, z is going to be -2, and this is going to be +2. And we should just be able to run this and have a fun time. Everything should work perfectly. Why did I... This didn't need to happen. Okay. We're going to run this, and it should work. We should have arrow key control over that cube that we added to the world. So here we are. Here's the world. And I pressed a bunch of arrow keys, and nothing seems to be really happening. I know that the keys are sending events, so I can see them changing color. So maybe it's just not receiving the events correctly, which would be interesting. I know what we can do. We can call translate instead of getPosition.add. It might just be that I'm adding to not the... It might be that getPosition returns like a clean pointer, like a non-mutable pointer. So I'm trying to mutate a copy of the position, and it's just like not moving the base one. So let's see if that is the case. That does not seem to be the case either. Let's do some console logs. Log.print line left. And then we're going to print layer.get position. So now if it actually moves left, we should see it move left and print that it has moved left. Okay, here we are. Well, it's not printing left, so let's see if it prints tick. It might not be ticking, which would be very strange. I mean, I can call tick on this object from another object, but if the other object's rendering, I mean, this one should be ticking. Yeah, so you see it's ticking. Maybe it's a problem with the debouncer. Maybe I'm calling wrong method. Let's console log this. Not console log. Log.print. Print line. So now in the actual like debug console, we should be able to see it saying left, false. So it's always saying false. So that means that it is not sending a key event. Keyboard.isKeyDown, key event.vk underscore left. I'm gonna go down to something that was working. I'm gonna go to an old script file where I did successfully reference the spacebar being pressed. Keyboard.isKeyDown this. Okay. And is toggle set to a new debouncer? False. Which is very similar to what I have here in player. New debouncer. False. Left. Let's did I just not have enough closing brackets. Maybe I deleted a closing bracket. I might not be listening for arrow keys, which would be strange. It might just be a problem of me using the arrow keys, which would be strange. Oh, well, that works. So I think it's just that, actually. Okay. Okay. So I guess we don't want an FPS camera anymore. We're gonna want a what did I call it? Top-down camera, I believe. Down camera. I don't want this top-down camera to move, but I think that it will. Yeah, okay. So this top-down camera does move. Interesting. We're gonna tell it not to. So we're gonna go in top-down camera class. There are a couple methods. I can pass it a position, which would be a height. And let's add a new property to this. Private void set. I guess can't. This would be Boolean. What am I talking about? Can move equals false. False. What time is it? It's 8:30. I'm gonna check something real quick. Let's see. What time is this place open till? I want to get some food. Okay, I'm gonna get going to get food in a little bit, but I'll be back. Don't worry. And I'm not leaving now. I want to get this working first. So yeah, we have a new Boolean can move, and we have this tick function. So we're gonna say if can move, we do all of this stuff. Can move is set to false. And we're gonna have public void set can move, and this will take a Boolean variable. And it can't just be called Boolean. Can move. So we're gonna say this dot can move equals can move. Sweet. So now we're gonna come back to the actual player class. Not the player class, the level controller class. Not even the level controller class. We're going to come to the LD42 class, and we have new top-down camera here. So instead of doing this, we're going to set var camera equal to this. And then we're going to say camera.canMove set can move false. And then we're going to pass camera into set camera. Now in the player controller, instead of using left, right, up, down, which I swear should work. It might be like arrow underscore left. It might just be sending the wrong key event, and I might just be wrong. Instead of these, we're going to be doing A, and then right is going to be D, and then up is going to be W, and this is going to be S. And we can also make like a configuration like JSON file or something later that we load in, and hopefully that will allow us to have some sort of key configuration. Oh, and okay, so I'm not moving right now, so setting can move to false is totally working, but I'm also not putting the camera in the right position, which is dumb. So new vector 3f 0, how high in the air should it go? Let's go to 8. Don't know if that's going to be enough. We'll find out together. Okay, that's not enough. But this is working, so now we have a cube that we can move around the world with WAS and D. This is kind of fun. This is so stupid. This isn't a game. yet, but it's a lot of fun. Okay, let's do some hot swap code because that's cool. Oh, I did not want to open Photoshop. Okay, so let's go to our player class, and we're going to, in the constructor, add a new light to the world. So we're going to say lighting engine dot add light, new light. And I don't actually want to do it like that. I want to say player dot get position is the position, and then new vec3, and this is going to be the color of the light, and we want like a cyan, so no red, half green, and full blue. And then we'll save this and hope it doesn't crash. Hey, it didn't crash, but it doesn't look like it hot swapped either. Hot swapping is still a beta feature. It doesn't work all the time. But when it does work, it's cool. Okay, it actually doesn't look like the light was added whatsoever. This should be all that we need to add a light, and I'm definitely doing that. Player is a new entity, and it definitely has a get position property. This should definitely work as well. I'm setting it to a position in the air. What's up with this? Why isn't it working? Why don't we have a fun light attached to our player? I don't know yet. Let's see if we can just paste this in here. And instead of that, let's use... Oh, so that's the problem right there. I was not adding a light. I was just adding... Okay, that's the whole problem. There we go. Look at this. This is really cool now. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at this. This is great. It's so beautiful. We have our player, which is a cube. We have a couple light sources. This is great. We're going to store this in a light variable. Okay, so light equals this. And this is returning a non-mutable version. Which I don't want. I don't want to set it every frame. That's boring. Get position is a function that I write, and you see how it returns a position, which is a new vector. I am going to get exact position, and this is going to return just position. So this is a mutable version of the position. So now inside of our player, we can actually set this to get exact position. And as we move the light, as we move the player, the light will move as well. So look at that. Oh wow, it's super cool. We have a light, which is, I mean, it looks like it's kind of glowing actually, which is pretty cool. Running out of space. How cool. So now we're gonna come into here, and 8 is definitely not tall enough to see everything cool going on. So we're gonna come in here, and this also doesn't really look cool enough to see what's going on. I have another idea, which I think I like. I have a move to function which I wrote, which lets like me do smooth camera transitions, because that's cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go into the player, and I'm gonna give the player. So we're gonna have a new variable, var camera equals new. Well, I can't instantiate it before it knows what anything is. So this like scope out here, it doesn't know what any of the custom words I've defined are yet. So I actually need to like change that. I don't really know how to assert before the first function is executed. Like, these are executed on load, and it loads and then it puts in my references. So I don't know that there's a way around it. So basically, I can't just like instantiate variables out here. They need to be instantiated inside the initialization function, which isn't a big deal, but you know, it could be cooler than it is. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna go into player. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna set camera to this, and this is going to be set per move. So camera is going to be equal to a new thing like this. Let's actually do a Boolean. I'm being dumb. That's not how JavaScript works. Var moved. So if we moved this frame, we want to like register that we moved this frame. Moved equals false. Down here, if moved, we're gonna do cool stuff. And in here, we're gonna set moved equal to true. Oops. Move equal true. I don't know why that doesn't work, because it works in Java. You can, when you're editing Java in IntelliJ, you can do Shift Enter to go like directly down to the. Now it's working. Okay. That feature wasn't working there for a second. Okay, moved, true, all this stuff, all this other garbage. Yep. Player, and then we're gonna say camera manager dot move to, and then this takes a new camera and an amount of time. We're gonna pass it FPS seconds, which I think will be 60/30. So if this is working as I hope it does, when I move, it should completely break. Camera manager dot move to camera manager transition. That's what it should have said. So we're going to transition to this new camera. Get exact position. Add new vector 3f 0, 0, 0, 12. This is our height that we have specified for our initial camera here, which actually, okay, this is a more robust way to do this. Add, and then this is going to be camera manager get camera get position x. Nope, not x. We want y, which is the middle. Okay, now we'll see some cool stuff. So when I transition, it crashes still. Why does it still crash? Get position is not a function. I probably didn't spell it right. Pose-ish on. And we'll see this smooth transition. Oh, goodness gracious. That is definitely wrong, but it's fun. Let's do that again because it's cool. So it looks like it is moving me way past where I want to be moved to. Okay, I don't think I want to add this. So let's have a var camera post, and this is going to be equal to this. Okay, and then we're going to say camera post dot y equals camera manager dot get camera dot get position dot y, and then we're gonna set this equal to this, and we're gonna run this, and it's gonna be awesome. Okay. Interesting. It looks like the player has been moved to inside me, but this is behaving as I intended it to, mostly. It's mostly not working. Okay. So, we're setting the light to be the exact position. We're setting the player... Why is the player's cube moving? So this is equal to this. This is translating to that. Oh, okay. This is the mutability thing. I don't want the exact position in this case. There we go. I just want get position because I want a copy of the player's position. I don't want to mess with the exact player position. I just want to reference it. So look at this. As I move, it actually moves. This is actually pretty cool. And it's being a little bit glitchy, and I think the reason that it's being a little bit glitchy is because I tell it that it can't transition if it's already transitioning. So if like I do that and then move it, it'll go. That's because it's currently transitioning. So if we go to the camera manager, I have this is transitioning flag, which we're gonna get. So on the falling action of the player moving, yeah, so we need another debouncer. Var done moving. Okay. So it's going to be done moving. Done moving equals new debouncer. False. So this is going to like listen and wait for the player to stop making move actions. So we're going to say if done moving dot falling action. So one's moves have been made a lot and now are not being moved. We are just going to like force this. And it's not actually going to be moved like the player moving, it's going to be the camera moving. Is camera manager dot is transitioning. If we go back to the camera manager, just make sure I spelled that right, and go back to the player and paste it. And I definitely didn't spell it right, so it's good that I copied and pasted there. Okay, so now now it will always go to where the player is. It's not the smoothest. I think I want the transition animation to cancel. If it was to move when it is moving, I think I want to cancel the transition and just like start from the current position, because that'll smooth it out a whole bunch. We'll have like it'll be like an interrupt essentially. So like if it's moving and you want it to move again, we're gonna just say, hey, move again. Okay. Transition. So if it is transitioning, transitioning equals true. Maybe we can set is transitioning to false. Let's see. Public void override transition. I don't know what this is going to look like, but we're going to say this dot is transitioning equals false. So let's use this new method first. We're going to comment this out. Moved. If we moved, we're going to say camera manager dot override transition. If it was transitioning or not transitioning anymore, and then we're going to just start a new transition. Yeah, okay. Oh, that is so much better. And we can definitely go out of bounds still. Okay, this is a lot of fun. I like this a lot. Okay, let's make a GIF of this so we can post a little update or whatever. What is my command for that? Nope, that is a snapshot. I don't know if you guys can see the snapshot. Could you see that? I don't know what happened for you guys. That might have crashed my stream. No, it didn't crash the stream. Okay, so that works. Let's see if I can record. That's a screenshot. Share X. Why didn't Share X open? Maybe it doesn't like it that I'm recording. Share X. Okay, there you go. I was playing some Terraria earlier. I'm gonna come over here for this. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do a capture screen recording. It's gonna be a GIF. Oh, this is really sweet. I can see how long the GIF's been running for. So we have a this is really cool. Okay. So now we should have made a GIF. Where did that save to? Where's my GIF? Oh, there it is. Okay. And we can open it up. No idea where that saved to. It's taking forever to open. Okay, here it is. It's probably oh, I did not want to edit that. Okay. Let's go reveal and explore. Here it is. Let's press spacebar on this. That doesn't work. So this is going to be LD42 update 1. And we are going to post it on Twitter real quick. Okay. Oh wow, I didn't realize that if you're sharing a stream on Twitter, it will actually like show the real-time stream. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's make a new tweet. Checking. That's not how you spell checking. Checking in. I have a basic level system and a character now. Sweet. The file's too big. Let's host it. On the internet. Okay, so we're gonna actually just like host it on the internet instead. Host it on Imgur. So that'll work, and then we can tweet the link. Okay, we do not need Photoshop open anymore. No, cancel. No, I don't care about any of that. And this is a lot of fun. This is really cool. I really like this. We are going to get a direct link to this. So if we paste this in here, we have this. Sweet. Sweet. And so we have that down there, and now we're gonna say okay, and then we're gonna say check out stream. And we're gonna paste the stream link again, because why not? Looks good. Tweet. Okay. Let's refresh this. Hey. And I have now shared the link to our first little guy working. It looks much worse as a GIF than it does on stream, and it looks much worse on stream than it does in person. Yeah, this is cool. Okay, I like this a lot. Okay. We'll just keep moving around, zipping around. Okay, so let's actually make the level boundaries interesting. Okay. I think that this might be a good stop-in point for tonight. Okay, so the stream will resume when it resumes. Thanks everybody for watching.